Hi, everybody. I am live. Feels good to be live. Feels good to be alive. Uh-oh, I can hear myself. Alive. I can hear myself. I'm trying to mute this right now. There we go. Hi, everybody. What's up? Well, so far, there really is a nobody. I'm going to kind of wait for people, but this is kind of a test to see if this thing works. I'm trying to get this thing to work. And yeah, so I'm doing a live. I don't normally do lives, so congratulations. Yeah. Anyway, John Wild, the Eco guys, and I'm doing a live testing here. Uh, I was going to pre-record this video and then just put it out, but I wanted to test the live, so this is how I'm going to record the video if I don't keep bumping into my microphone here. So if you want to join, please do. I'm going to scratch my neck as it itches. I got this new Batman shirt today from a friend named Kayla. Isn't that awesome? Batman. So, but anyway, so this video, I'm sure more people will probably watch it later on. I mean, it's like 10 o'clock at night here in Orlando, Florida. But basically, it's a story about how I got into scrapping and recycling. It's an interesting story. Hold on. I got into. All right. I was just testing my volume there, make sure I am broadcasting right. Um, a little bit about a lot of people ask, why do I consider myself such an expert in recycling and what's up with me and the eco guys and all this blah 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 blah. I have been into recycling since I was about 7 years old. I am very much older than 7 today. So I've been in it for a while. And basically, I have studied recycling all my life, all forms of it, all aspects of it, everything from paper to plastic to metals to precious metals to electronics to everything all my life since I was 7. That's all I've been doing. And it has changed so much. The scrapping industry and the scrapping world and recycling world has changed so much over the years that basically I learned and grew with it and became what I am today. Um, I've had many chances to be like an expert on guests appearances and things like that throughout the years and talk about it. And then when the my very first public, real big public thing about that was Central Florida Environmental, which was on 740 a.m. here in Orlando, Florida channel, like Saturday mornings at like 9 o'clock or something like that. It was crazy, and I got a following, and people started to listen to it, and it was all about just basically recycling, reducing, reusing, and talking about how to be a cleaner person for the environment. And my whole thing from the very beginning of all of this was to never ever be political, because being political and the environment don't mix. And people who make political statements through the environment, usually most of them are wrong almost all the time. I would say 97% of them never say it, never say anything absolutely correct, because most when you collect political with environmental, you have your people with their agendas, and the environment is not an agenda. It is a beautiful growing thing that we need to keep clean because it helps sustain our life on this earth. We're in harmony with the environment and we're just destroying it. I love it how I talk to some people that are vegans and they eat real healthy because they say, oh, their body is a temple and they got to take care of it. But then they take the plastic bottle and throw it in the trash. I said, well, you're not really taking care of your body because you're not taking care of what sustains life so you can be healthy and be natural and all this. So it's so I keep the thing political out of everything. Hello, Art from the Heart. I know who that is. That's Christine's Corners. Anyway, so basically, yeah, I go ahead and I started the Central Florida Environmental. That was my first radio show. That was a long time ago. And then that turned into the Eco Guys, which at first, when like MySpace started coming out and Facebook for the first time and all these things like that, I basically started just blogging and things. And then one day I sat down with a buddy of mine, who's Colin Green from the Eco Guys, and Nisi. Remember Nisi? All these people, all of us got together and started talking. We got to put this on the radio. So the Eco Guys radio show was formed back in 2009, and it was so great because, as I said, we're not political. We're the truth about the environment. That's what we speak. There's nothing political about us. All right. And we were actually on a conservative radio station, a real hard conservative radio station. And we had an environmental show. And it was like on Saturdays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We got so huge. One of the first calls we got, and you can listen to these shows, by the way, on any podcast. You just type in the Eco Guys on any major podcast. There we are. Our shows are right there. So our very first show, this one lady called and she goes, "Are you guys Al Goreans?" Blah, blah, blah. And we went off, not on her, but we just went off on that whole situation, that whole thing. No, we don't like Al Gore. We think he's an idiot, like everyone else thinks he's an idiot. Anyone who politicizes the environment's an idiot to us. And we went out and we had a good old time on that. But we became one of the most popular radio shows on this radio station, which was a conservative radio station. We were like the number one show. Pretty much, we got more calls than even the pay, because we paid for our own show. It was a brokered show. But we had more calls than the paid talk show host did during a show. And we just got really big and real popular because we made the environment fun. It was a fun, wacky show, and we made the environment fun. So that's that's where the Eco Guys grew from there. But my personal expertise started when I was 7. I'm about to tell you that story. Let me look at the thing here. I have my bag of plastic water bottles by the door to go with me tomorrow. Absolutely. Way to go, Art from the Heart. You know what? That it just when you don't have curbside, it just takes that little extra step to go and take it to the right place. And sometimes the right place may not always be the right place. I would highly suggest that if you don't have a community that recycles and you want to do like Art from the Heart, put everything in a bag, all your recyclables in cardboard, paper, plastic bottles, whatever. When you leave, find an apartment complex that has a recycling bin next to their dumpster and put it in there. A lot of stores like Wawa does, but I have actually caught many Wawa stores taking the little thing for recycling bottles by their trash can and actually throwing it into the dumpster. And it's not a very pleasant situation when I catch them. I don't make it really pleasurable for Wawa when I catch them. Anyway, I want to take a drink. Now, this is going to surprise everyone out there. The Eco Guy's actually drinking out of a plastic disposable bottle. Heaven forfend. Well, one, this is the only thing I could get a hold of at the time, right now. So I had to use it. And number two, it's okay. This is a shock, guys. It's okay to use plastics. It's okay. Don't overuse them. And if you can buy in glass or metal, I would prefer you do that. But when you're done with the bottle, you do the right thing and make sure it gets recycled. Simple as that. Don't throw it away. Recycle it. Recycle it. You know that song that we got going? Anyway. All right. So how I got into recycling. 7 years old. I had an older brother at the time. He has passed away since, but he was like the Central Quintal nerd. I was in elementary school. He was in junior high, and he was a member of, I think it was the astronomy club or some kind of nerd club there. And they were at the time, now back in these days, which was late 70s, early 80s, late 70s, paper, like newspaper, used to get a lot of money for recycling newspaper. I mean, lots of money. You can make good money recycling newspaper back then. So these schools would have paper drives, basically a big box truck outside of the school on a Saturday. Everyone brings their newspapers and donates them, and then they take them in, recycle, and take the money and put it towards the nerd club, whatever it was. And my brother said that he was going to be working on this recycling thing. And I'm like thinking to myself, what? Yeah, I'm 7 years old. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, they bring newspapers and magazines to the school and we get paid for them. Huh? They're paying you cash money for garbage. He said, pretty much. I thought, at 7 years old now, remember, it's just a 7-year-old brain going here. I thought it was amazing. So I said, well, bro, we're bros. I'll help you out. What can I do? He goes, well, why don't you take your wagon and go through the neighborhood and collect papers and bring it up to the school? And I thought, okay. So the school is about a half mile from the house. So what I would figure I would do is go through the two neighborhoods to the school. And on my way through the neighborhoods, I would stop and ask for newspapers. And boy, I tell you, I got them. I filled up that wagon so full they were falling over. I took it there and I saw them throw the newspapers in the box truck. I'm still amazed at this concept, this idea of that. This, what I would conceive as garbage at 7 years old, they're getting money for this cash. So I go back and I get hold of my 7-year-old friend, his Greg Black. Greg Black. Oh, I remember his name. Jeez, crease. Anyway, so he goes, yeah, dude, not only can you get paid, but those soda bottles we see on the side of the road all the time, you can get like 5 cents if you take those back to the 7-Eleven. I'm like, what? So we start collecting soda bottles and we take them back and cash them in for money. And we find a lot of, back then there was a lot of soda bottles, glass soda bottles everywhere. You find them every place. I mean, come on. If you're from that era of time, you remember that. So I was like getting into this thinking, wow, but then I started learning exactly what's going on here, and that we throw away metal cans and paper and cardboard and plastics, and plastics weren't really huge then, believe it or not, but we were throwing this stuff in the trash when it could have been reused. Again, that 7-year-old brain thinking that is so wasteful to take something that literally you're using for the first time. This container, this plastic container is brand new. So you use it once and then you throw it away. That's like going out and buying a brand new laptop computer, cracking it up, getting online, doing what you want to do, close the computer, take the entire brand new computer you just bought, throwing it in the trash. Why not? I mean, that's what you're doing to this. It makes about as much sense to me. This is my 7-year-old brain back then. I was like thinking this is a wonderful thing. My God. So that got me into recycling. I was 10 years old when I had my first recycling business. And I mean, making money recycling metals. I would collect tin cans and metal cans. I would walk down the street and find little nuts. Let me give you an example. This is my little thing now that I'm doing. If I'm walking down the street and I see, this is a busted lock I found, man, I see these on the side of the road all the damn time. Look at that. It's a busted lock. All right. So I put that in here and look at that. Look at that. I just saw that sitting on the side of the road. It's a metal nut, right? So I put that in here. You might say, this small stuff. Yeah, but if you really kind of pay attention, and I got a great video coming up about that. If you start paying attention, all these little things will add up, and pretty soon all your little is that. But see, as a kid, and of course we made a lot more money back then doing this, it was great because at the end of the week I cashed aluminum cans. Some people that are watching this right now will not be happy about this, but yeah, aluminum cans, absolutely. And I was collecting all this stuff. Not only was I making money, but I was learning that we're reusing something and it's a wonderful thing to do rather than throwing it in the landfill. So at 10 years old, I had my first real business when I was scrapping, and I was doing lawn cutting and everything. I was really into the environment. That's when I started learning. So officially at 7, I got interested in it, learned about it. At 10 years old, officially, I was an eco guy. That's how I got into recycling. And it rolled more and more all my whole life. That's all I've done. I mean, I was the popular kid in high school. I was in a band. I was hanging out. I was kind of famous back then, and I'm the kid that everyone thought was really cool, wanted to hang with. But see, not only that, but this kid loved the environment, and this kid recycled. While all my friends were tossing their bottles, most of them were like glass and metal into the garbage can. I was like taking them right back out. I was like, no, man, just put it in my trunk of my car. Hang on to it, man. I'll recycle that. That's what I did. And I started learning more and more. And I got in on the ground floor when Orange County started the recycling program back in the 90s. I was part of that. I was on the board. And we put all this together. And I've been in and out of different environmental organizations. And at one time, I was supposed to head up the new Sierra Club in Central Florida, but I didn't do it. And I think it's still sitting in limbo. I mean, I can do it anytime I want to, and I'm thinking about doing that. So that's what got me into the environment. And I'm going to tell you right now, to me, scrapping. Now there's recycling and then there's scrapping. Let me tell you the two differences. Recycling is recycling your plastic bottles at home, recycling your paper bags, on and on. Everything that you do around the paper, junk mail, that's all recyclable. Scrapping is when you get the metal. I wish I had a sample here. Like big pieces of metal, everything from, I guess, aluminum cans all the way up to like refrigerators, washers, dryers, however big or small that you want to do it. That's called scrapping. You're basically gathering all this metal together, taking it to a scrap yard, recycling it and getting paid money for it. I mean, just everything you can imagine. You get into the precious metals, which is copper and brass and aluminum and all this. And it's all the scrapping world. I love it. I've loved it since day one. The very first day I actually loaded up a truck full of metal and took it in to the scrap yard, I was like so hooked that I'm taking these people's trash and I'm getting money for it, and sometimes very good money for it. When I first started, it would be so easy to walk away with $200 to $300 a day doing it. Now prices have come down over the years, and we've had a crisis for the last 5 to 8 years in prices just doing this. Right now, prices are pretty good, but then like 2 years ago, prices were like, let's just say tin scraps, like washers, dryers. 7 years ago, 5 to 7 years ago, it was $12 £100, which is really good if you think about it. Then all of a sudden, it got down to $2 £100. Like that's how bad it dropped last 2 years because of the pandemic mainly. And now it's back up. It's creeping back up, and it fluctuates. So that's why it's smart to recycle. If you want to get into scrapping, you scrap everything and you separate your items. You get paid more for it. Like right now, copper's out of this world. Clean copper is getting well over $3 a pound, which is magnificent. It's not hard to get a lot of weight on a copper. Pretty soon it's going to be $4 a pound, which is probably some of the highest it's ever been. It doesn't sound like a lot, but think about this. If you gather a bunch of copper, the weight, it adds up. It really adds up really quick. But anyway, so I love it. I love getting dirty. I love getting grimy. I love when a lot of times you'll see me when I'm scrapping, I don't wear gloves because I want to feel that grease and dirt, that rust, the metal parts and all this of all that metal. I want to smell it. I want to taste it in my mouth. I want the dust. I want the dirt, the noise, the smashing of metal, the clanging, the clamping, the noise of the scrapyard of these machines grabbing this metal. I love every moment of this. It is to me, it is so cool, and it's almost therapeutic when I'm out there scrapping. Sometimes there's two kinds of scrapping that you can do, three kinds of scrapping you can do. All right. One is called curbside scrapping, where basically on garbage night or early the next day before the garbage men get out there, you drive around the neighborhood and you find people have metal chairs, appliances, electronics, all kinds of stuff sitting out by their trash. You just scoop that up. It's actually a federal law that protects you, that says that when you put trash out at your curb, it is now public domain and you can take anything you want. But it's always good to be polite about it. If you pull up, you start loading metal and the homeowner screams at you, "Don't touch that," which is rare but happens. You say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and you be polite about it. You also be very clean. If you're going through people, most people won't care because they like the fact you're recycling their stuff. But if you make a mess outside their garbage cans or something like that, and you don't clean up, you don't respect their yards, then they're going to start getting pissed off, and they're not going to let people do it. So that's street scrapping. You can also find I found furniture and like collectors. There was this one huge box one time I found. I opened it up. There were two brand new, never used, never opened, still in the plastic VCRs. And this was a while back when VCRs were something. Uh, but they were nice. I mean, you'd be very surprised. I find stuff that I can sell on eBay all the time by people's trash, especially if you go to the Richie neighborhoods. I remember one time I found a brand new pair of Brutal Mollies, not fake ones, real ones, in the box in these people's trash. They were cleaning out this house. They didn't pay attention, and I couldn't wear them because they were way too small for me. But I sold them for a heck of a lot of money. Anyway, recycle flags. Recycle flags. You can recycle a flag. You can't recycle an American flag, but you can recycle a flag. But yes, you can make money recycling. Lots of it. I wish I was better prepared. I would show you what I got to turn in. This huge thing. Oh, this is something here. I decided to keep this, but this is also like little pieces of metal that I find in dumpsters and all that. This is a fire extinguisher holder. I was going to scrap it. I was going to take this shiny metal piece off because this is stainless steel, which pays more. So I was going to remove this, and then this is just regular raw steel. That is what they call number 2 steel. But this is so cool. I decided to keep it. I don't know if I'll ever hang something from it, because it still works as like a, you can undo it like this. So I decided to keep that. And just in case I want to bracket something to the wall, I don't have to go to Home Depot and buy it now. There's a saying out there that scrappers never want, they wait. Because no matter what you need, you're going to find it for free. All right, so that's the first kind of street. Second kind is what they call dumpster divers, which basically you look for dumpsters and you used to dive into them. They don't suggest you do that now. There are still some people out there that jump into dumpsters. I had a dumpster diver friend have a horrible experience jumping into dumpsters one time. I don't want to go into great detail, but apparently it was a medical dumpster that was not marked medical. Needless to say, he was in the hospital for a while because he dived into this thing. He started going around. He goes, he was pulling out some metal that was in there, but he goes, there was something not right about everything around him. And then the next day he woke up with like boils and sores all over his body. He got some kind of infection. And that's why I always say, if you're going to be dumpster diving, you do not jump into a dumpster. I have gone dumpster diving and I use a special pole to move things around and grab things. One time I went in there and I moved a bag and there's a whole family of raccoons come jumping out at me. Imagine if I was in the dumpster, huh? But you never dive into a gross dumpster. You look for pretty clean dumpsters and you just, which you can grab with your dumpster dive stick. And a dumpster dive stick is cool. Those projectile sticks that go from small to long. What are they called? Telescoping sticks. And you get an old paint roller. And you take the paint roller off, it comes into a hook. You put that on your stick, you got a dumpster diving stick. Now you can reach in there and grab stuff, make it long or short. And then, of course, a good pair of grabbers, those little, I don't know. Nothing that I need is like right here. But I got grabbers. Now, roll-off dumpsters, construction dumpsters, they're pretty safe to get into. I don't climb. I'm just too old to do it anyway now, but I don't like to climb over the top of the dumpster to get into it. But if I can open up the back safely and no one minds, I'll start pulling metal out. I got something over here. Again, I can't reach it today. I was walking out of a restaurant today and there was a dumpster right in the middle of the parking lot. So I went in there, I looked in there, and I pulled out probably about 45 feet of aluminum conduit, about another 25 feet of copper wire, and probably about 8 pounds of steel out of the little dumpster. That was a small load. You can get a lot. I used to get a lot more than that. So that's all going to get turned in the next few days for cash. Right there, green stuff. So that's dumpster diving. The third way to do it is you put yourself out there, business cards, flyers, or whatever, and people will call you and say, like stores or whatever, I got shelving, I got this old lawnmower, I got this, I got that. I do that a lot with the electronics because I'm actually certified to not only recycle electronics, but also to destroy like hard drives and data and all that. I know how to do that, and I'm licensed to do that. But exactly, leave the world better than you found it. And a lot of these people don't mind if you take their stuff and recycle it. Some do. Some get a stick up their butt, but a lot of people don't. They will like the fact that you're taking their stuff to the landfill. I mean, I'm sorry, to the recycle center, not to the landfill. But so that's how I got into it. And as I said, to me, people think it's gross to like go through dumpsters and dig through stuff. I love it. Construction dumpsters. I love construction dumpsters because you got the drywall dust, you got the dirt, you got the grime, you got the sawdust in there, people working on the things. You get all that just flying around and you look so dirty afterwards. It's wonderful. It's a great feeling. So that's how I got into it, through my brother. Recycling for newspapers got me interested. I started learning. I became an expert in it, hosted radio shows, television shows, YouTube now. And then, I told you all about how recycling is and the fact that I just love the dirt and grime. Whenever I watch scrapping videos, my favorite ones is when they get dirty and grimy and their hands are like filled with dirt and grime, like Scrap Kingdom, Steel Scrap Kingdom, Vid Vulture. Oh, my, Vid Vulture's cool. He will jump into any dumpster, which shocks me. But these guys, they're on my YouTube as favorites. Wonderful, wonderful. And it's just so dirty and so noisy. I love it. But you can also scrap and not be dirty. There are some people out there that claim, oh, I don't want to scrap. It's so dirty. It'll dirty up my car. It's so nasty. It's dirty. It's not real. It's not like that at all, actually. If you just stay towards more of the clean stuff, you'll be fine. Anyway, well, this live has been great. It's really a test. Art from the Heart, thank you for hanging out with me. There was a couple other people hanging. I really appreciate that. I didn't hear from you guys, but thank you. I don't know why we do it because I haven't really gotten an explanation from her. But if you go to Christine's Corners, she's also on my favorites or my watch list or my whatever, my favorites on YouTube, where you line up the people that you like the most. I don't know why, but she says put hashtag replay. So I guess do that. If you watch this video, not live, but just the replay of it, put hashtag replay, and I'll find out why we're supposed to be doing that. But you can still comment. You can still like, share, subscribe, share the channel out. Hey, Dan, what's up, man? Dan the man. Psh, there you go. High five. Thank you for hanging out with me. Also, if you have a coffee mug or something, you want to send a coffee mug to me, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos where I actually will drink out of your coffee mug. This is Wawa's. And we'll talk about your business or organization. As long as it's not anti-environmental, that's fine. If you want to know how to send me your coffee mug or a baseball cap with your organization or your business on it, I will wear it during a live. Especially if you throw in like $1 or $2 to help out with this channel. You don't have to, but it's a wonderful thing to put something in the mug for me, right? Send it to me. What you do, comment below that you want to send me something, and I will send you with an email address, and I will send you a message. And we'll get you to how to mail stuff to me. Well, I could do like those other people doing lives and just kind of sit here and wait. But everyone's going away. Dan was hanging out. Art from the Heart was hanging out. No one's hanging out. Of course, it's late, so I'll probably do a live again tomorrow. All right, you all take care. Y'all have a good night. Comment below. Let me know when you first got into recycling. If you do that, if you scrap, when did you start and why did you start? I'd like to read those comments. I'd like to read your stories. I really would. So hit me up, huh? Have a good, it's nighttime here while I'm doing this, but whatever you're watching it, you have a good whatever. Take care.